Has the secret four-digit price for XRP been exposed in this Bank for International Settlements document? Project Mariana, CBDCs and automated market makers. Well, no, the secret price of XRP has not been exposed. What we're going to be talking about today, I think, is a very important issue. I'm sure that's not the first time that you've kind of seen a hype topic or hype, thought processes around stuff. I think speculation in this space is certainly fine. Everybody has the right to speculate in whichever ways that they want to speculate. There's been some drama kind of surrounding this Project Mariana aspect today around speculation. I'm not going to be getting into the speculative aspects of this. I'm not going to say if Ripple and XRP are definitively involved or not involved. What I am going to do is show a tweet that I found that is very obviously fake news. And when I say fake news, it's a combination of multiple different articles and research articles that are coming from these banks that are just not real. So I saw this. This is Edo Farina, XRP. Again, to preface this, I am not saying that this guy created this article. I don't know where he found this article. Maybe somebody gave this to him, but it's not an article. It is actually a culmination of like 4 different articles together to basically create a narrative, which is a little bit frightening because at the end of the day, how do we educate ourselves in this space if the news that we're seeing on a consistent basis isn't real news? It is literally, snapshot pictures combining different aspects of different articles, different research papers to present a narrative. So what you see here within this, obviously the tweet, boom, Project Mariana refers to XRP as an international payments medium, connecting Switzerland, Singapore, Eurosystem centers together with the Bank of France, Monetary Authority of Singapore, and the Swiss National Bank for CBDCs. This is not, this, based on all of my research, this right here, in the culmination of what this is stating from beginning to end has never been released in one place ever. It's taking little snapshots of different articles released from the Fed, from the Bank for International Settlements, and it's combining them in a way that drives a narrative. Now, again, I have to preface this by saying I don't know if this is something from Edo. Maybe somebody gave this to him, but this is not real. And I will show you why this is not real. First and foremost, you can go to bis.org. This should be a red flag when you're looking through news, and I will show you by the end of this video how to search for these things on your own as well. bis.org takes you right here. Takes you to the main page of the Bank for International Settlements. This is what it looks like. Looks like this was done on mobile. bis.org right here does not lead you to Project Mariana. Now, if you go under projects, Project Mariana, you can see Project Mariana right here. And it looks like this portion was taken as a snapshot in this image. So you've got this portion right here being taken from the project section of the Bank for International Settlements. Now, underneath in the image that is being presented as research, you can see here Ripple and Stellar, 2 blockchain-based companies. It mentions the digital asset XRP, mentions Stellar, the company, mentions Finality as well, and this graph right here as well. You can see, obviously, none of this stuff on Bank for International Settlements Project Mariana site here. So essentially what you have is you have a snapshot of bis.org, you have a snapshot of projects, and you have a snapshot of this first paragraph here within this image. Nothing else is from the same document or any other document that exists in one place. The second portion of this image here that is, again, I'm not saying that Edo created this, but maybe somebody gave this to him, that is being presented as fact. And this, if you're reading this, from somebody random on Twitter, this has 1,098 likes, 17 quote tweets, 364 reposts, and it's not even a real document that exists anywhere. It's little snippets from different documents to present kind of a thought process that is very loaded. The second portion of this is this image right here, which you can see domestic platforms, international network, key components, bridges, and then it talks about figure 4 and it mentions Ripple and Stellar. So it's basically presented in the way that Bank for International Settlements Project Mariana directly referencing XRP. This image doesn't even come from a Bank for International Settlements document. Neither does this statement right here. This comes from the Atlanta Fed, Introduction to Web3 with Implications for Financial Services, under a very broad topic of Web3 and financial infrastructure. It talks about Swift. It talks about currency exchange. It talks about Project Mariana right here, certainly. But it talks about Project Mariana, saying that Mariana uses a fork of the curve pool and is designed as a proof of concept. That's very obviously omitted within this.
Is this real life?
Now you get down here a little bit below this. It kind of gives a broad statement underneath Web3 or underneath currency exchange about Ripple and Stellar also tackling this issue. And then it talks about finality, which obviously doesn't really have anything to do with XRP. So the curve aspect is omitted from this whole thing, because this in its culmination, the way that this has been snapshotted with different images and put together, no document exists like this. Here's the real document from the Bank for International Settlements Project Mariana, and it's their high-level architecture talking about wholesale CBDCs, things like that. Of note, obviously, Ripple and XRP definitely not mentioned in this. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that Ripple or Stellar or XRP or XRPL aren't, doing work behind the scenes with these banks, because obviously that is true. I've been researching that for years. You guys all know that. What I am saying is we have to start being critical thinkers in this space. Again, not saying that Ado created this, but somebody created this document. And it's up to us to kind of do due diligence, because this presents a narrative that is not true. And it's in a very targeted way. And it's targeted towards unsuspecting retail participants, the wider space as a whole. Meaningful speculation, it's up to you guys. Speculate in whatever you want to speculate in. But if you see this stuff put together in a way that it's a singular news article, do some due diligence, because this is not real. There's different segments that are plucked from different aspects of different documents, and they are put together in a way that is to present a narrative to you, the audience. And without doing the due diligence, we ask ourselves, how can we educate ourselves about the future of finance and what's coming when the news and documentation being presented to us isn't even real and is presented under a narrative? If you want to look this stuff up on your own, literally all you have to do is do quotation Mariana, quotation XRP, quotation Fed, and then type in PDF. You'll find the Web3 introduction with implications for financial services under the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta. You'll find this IMF document, Trust, Bridges, and Money Flows, which also has a duplicate Bank for International Settlements document there. I'm going to go over that in a second. You notice you don't see Bank for International Settlements here, which was kind of the aspect of whatever this culmination of things that got put together was. Now, you can go and certainly look up Project Mariana from the Bank for International Settlements. And I'm sure you can find that as well, the interim report, or CBDCs and automated market makers, which you can also find here. And click on the full report. Actually read through it. Do some targeted searches. Control F always works good. Whatever you want to do. Trust, Bridges, and Money Flows. This is a document that came out of the IMF and Bank for International Settlements. Obviously, these documents through the Fed and through Bank for International Settlements that I've shared are real. Before I leave with this, just make sure you guys are doing some due diligence. I just told you how to search for some of this stuff. Blindly retweeting things that aren't even factual and these snippets that get put together, I don't know what good that's doing anybody. If you're speculating, great. Speculate on whatever you want to speculate with. The question I have to ask myself is, why would something like this be put together? Because this has very obviously been put together. I don't know. I'm not saying Ado put it together, but he shared it. Somebody else put it together. There should be a minimum level of due diligence in what we share. Sources always work, and it's very easy to find sources. Anyways, this Trust, Bridges, and Money Flows document is interesting. That's why I said that I'm not going to negate the fact that Ripple or XRP might not have something to do with some of these aspects, but from all the documentation that we've seen, nothing is really there except for kind of a footnote in that Atlanta Fed document talking about what Ripple, Stellar, and Finality do as a whole. This document, the cross-country marketplace model with tokenized money through the International Monetary Fund and Bank for International Settlements, it's on the IMF's website as well, talks about enhancing cross-border payments. Interoperability, this talks briefly about Mariana And then at the very bottom of this, after liquidity pools, it talks about conclusions. And it talks about which types of marketplaces something like this, a cross-currency exchange aspect, could actually operate on. Three models arise, and I had a video on this probably 6 months ago with IMF. The Bank for International Settlements released this in June. Three models arrive: a private settlement asset marketplace such as Ripple's XRP, an open source marketplace such as the Stellar Foundation, or more recently DeFi networks, and a marketplace and settlement asset based on unbacked crypto assets such as Strike, which leverages Bitcoin and the Lightning Network. However, a public solution run by a regulated private entity potentially has key advantages such as tackling the coordination problem around centralizing participation and liquidity provision, and offering clear and trusted governance and operational stability, providing full compatibility with financial integrity standards. Well, that's certainly interesting as well, where something like this coming out of the IMF could actually be, facilitated itself upon cross-country marketplace model with tokenized money. Talks about XRP and Ripple. It talks about Stellar. It talks about Bitcoin. Talks about a regulated private entity potentially. And make no mistake about it, guys. I mean, these banking institutions obviously work together. I mean, my only concern is at this point in time, I've given up on the speculation thing. You guys speculate whatever you want to speculate in. When you see documents that that state gigantic types of aspects of potential utility, always do a little bit of due diligence, because this doesn't exist anywhere. This is segmented from multiple documents, and the question I have to ask myself is why. Again, not stating this is from Ado, but whoever shared this with Ado, I mean, some due diligence on the front end of this stuff. You've got 1,100 people liking this, and there's nothing even real here. So except for segmented stitching of things that present a narrative that is very intentional. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will talk to you when I talk to you. Again, it's easy to do due diligence. Just do some targeted searches. You can find all the documentation and then kind of go from there. So hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll talk to you when I talk to you. Bye.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Yeah.